The Guardians. The Zelda equivalent of a tank, impenetrable armour and a massive laser. With these monsters roaming the ruined Hyrule, let's just say it's a good thing that Link can change his pants in this game. Aside from the fact that they're gigantic and terrifying, what exactly do we know about the mysterious Guardians? Well, their design was based on the very first enemy you're likely to see in the original Zelda for the NES, the Octorok. Yeah, this thing was the inspiration for this behemoth. In an interview, IG Aonuma stated that when playing Zelda 1, Octoroks felt huge. And so, for Breath of the Wild, he created an enemy based on his imagining of the Octoroks to act as a callback to the original. The decision to take the sci-fi route for their design was because giant octopuses would be gross, and this decision inspired the technology theme in the game. From this, we learn that Guardians are the central point from which the story of the game developed, so it's very likely that they'll be integral to the plot. And judging from just how many of the buggers there are scattered around the game, I'd say that that's a pretty fair assumption. They even have their own amiibo, highlighting just how important they seem to be in this story. So, what are these Guardians and why are they so important to the game? Let's begin at the beginning. The Guardians are some sort of octopus-like war robot, possessing huge strength, strong armour, and powerful offensive mechanisms. However, the Guardians we see in Breath of the Wild are old. They're rusty, broken, mossy, and even half buried in some cases. A lot of them are destroyed, broken beyond repair, and act as nothing more than ominous reminders of days past. However, many awakened Guardians that were not destroyed in the past, remain active and wander the lands outside of the Great Plateau, killing freely. There's also a larger Guardian on Death Mountain, which we can see circling the volcano in the distance, so perhaps they'll protect certain areas. However, especially in the Great Plateau, most of the monsters are decayed and inactive. Despite their current state, there's still quite a lot to say about the design of the Guardians. The Guardians seem to be made out of some sort of stone, and are obviously highly advanced items of technology, essentially futuristic robot octo-tanks. However, what's really interesting is this raised swirling pattern on them. Where else have we seen both this pattern and the same advanced blue technology? Yeah, Sheikah built structures like the resurrection towers and shrines. This stonework, both the swirled pattern here and the circles and lines here, are present in Sheikah structures, and the laser and blue glow is obviously in some way connected to the glowing blue energy that powers the Sheikah Slate, resurrection towers, shrines, and more. Speaking of shrines, it's these mini dungeons that provide the final piece of evidence that the Guardians are indeed Sheikah creations. Shrines are holy challenges set by Sheikah monks in the name of the goddess Hylia, sealed off from the outside world until Link opens them with his Sheikah Slate. Inside them are all manners of puzzles designed to test the hero's worth, and most notably, miniature Guardians, made of the same ancient screws and ancient springs, confirming that they are indeed of Sheikah origin. This all strongly suggests that the Guardians were built using the same ancient technology of the Sheikah. They are the children of a technologically advanced civilization. But what would the reason be for the Sheikah creating this army of warrior robots? Well, we know that roughly 100 years before the events of Breath of the Wild, there was a large war where Calamity Ganon first appeared, but was contained somehow in Hyrule Castle. It's likely that the Guardians fought in this war. The Guardians were likely created and deployed by the Sheikah to attempt to stop the rampage of the Calamity Ganon. However, looking at the world, it doesn't seem like it worked, did it? Instead of defending, guarding the world, the deactivated Guardians seem to be instead laying siege to it. At some point during the war against Calamity Ganon, the Guardians stormed Castletown, flattening most of it before setting their sights on the Temple of Time, which they began to tear apart. Wait, what? Where did we learn this? Well, the Great Plateau is like a graveyard, containing many hints to its tragic past. A lot of evidence points to the fact that it was once the bustling market of Castletown, but is now a ruin after the attack of the Guardians. I was originally going to make a video on this connection, but TK James on Reddit documented it before I could create my video. You can see the Castletown gate, the path leading up to it, as well as many ruins of buildings and even the central fountain. This all provides strong evidence that Castletown was attacked by the Guardians, leaving nothing but a ruin after the rampage. But why would the Guardians attack this Hylian settlement like this? Are the Sheikah evil? Well, no. What's different about these Guardians to other Sheikah tech? The pink glow emanating from their bodies. This pink glow has been seen before in Breath of the Wild. It's the aura the Calamity Ganon seems to be giving off at Hyrule Castle. We only see this pink glow with Calamity Ganon. It's not present in any other Sheikah technology, which usually glows either blue or orange. If we put 2 and 2 together, it could be that the Guardians were once defenders of Hyrule created by the Sheikah, but in some way were manipulated by Ganon, creating a truly terrifying enemy. The same pink glow that we see surrounding the Calamity Ganon, showing his influence and possession of Hyrule Castle, emanates from the awakened Guardians, showing his influence and possession of them as well. Somehow, it's likely that Ganon turned the powerful Sheikah robots on their creators and Hyrule itself. Possession and manipulation is nothing new to Ganon, Puppet Zelda being a prominent example, so it's not a stretch to assume that his powers would include technology too. Further evidence for the theory that Ganon has taken control of these Guardians comes when you look at the smaller Guardians found in the shrines. Since the shrines are holy challenges, protected from the outside world, it's safe to assume that they're free from Ganon's influence. And, sure enough, the small Guardians inside have a distinct orange glow, similar to the walls and the outside of the shrines, rather than the menacing pink glow. This all but confirms that these miniature Guardians are still under Sheikah control, used to test the hero's worth, whereas their big brothers outside have been controlled by Ganon, hence the different aura. We've seen Link on 1 or 2 occasions use an energy arrow to destroy a Guardian, an energy arrow which shares its design with the Guardians and Resurrection Towers, suggesting it's also Sheikah in origin. This paints the possibility of a storyline where Link must help to undo the mistakes of the Sheikah and use their own weaponry and guidance to destroy the monsters they created.
So that was a look at the history of the Guardians, which are a product of advanced Sheikah technology. But what else is the Sheikah technology responsible for in the Zelda games? Check out the theory over on my channel to have a look at the history of the Sheikah technology.
Thanks for watching this video. What do you guys think on our theory of the origin of the Guardians? Let us know in the comments. Cheers guys, and I'll see you next time.